Alright, welcome back. This is Challenge Saga here, and welcome to part 2 on how to create your own Mafia map. For those of you who did not see part 1, make sure to go check that out. Link is in the description down below. If you don't watch part 1 before you watch part 2, you're obviously going to be a bit confused. So make sure to go check that out before you watch this video. But anyways, welcome to part 2. Last time we worked on building the discussion area, player houses, and the Mafia headquarters. Today's going to be a little different. Today we're going to be working on the behind the scenes stuff, the theoretical. So team settings and inventory, timers, and island settings are going to be what we're going to talk about here. So as I mentioned in the last video, I gotta warn you, this is going to be a little trickier than last video. Why? Because you're going to be playing with channels this time, and this is behind the scenes work. So it's not stuff that your players are going to see. This is more of you putting stuff in that would run the game in the background. So it's incredibly important that you follow along very closely with me. So yeah, that's all I really have to say. If you have any questions or any concerns, if anything goes wrong, make sure to leave in the comments down below, and I'll try to answer your questions or acknowledge what went wrong. And if you like this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to show your support. But other than that, that's all I have to say. Welcome to part 2 on how to make a Mafia map. Let's get started. Now that we have all of our structures, we made it through our checklist as far as structures go. Next up, we want to add the team settings. So basically we want to establish who the Mafia is and who the civilians are. So open up your creative menu and go all the way down until you find the team settings and inventory. Equip 2 of these. Alright, and set them both down. Now, customize, choose one to customize right now, and let's call this Mafia. Alright, the team name is Mafia, and the team affiliation is Team 1. And you can do team color if you want, I like red orange. But yeah, this is the important part, Team 1, team name, there you go. Now, other than that, everything else is set. Now, if you want to make it easy to kill people, then you can set their max health to 1 health. That way it's a one-shot kill. But up to you if you want to do something else. But I suggest making max health at 1 health. But other than that, I mean, give them infinite ammo, obviously. Don't give them infinite resources. And don't really touch anything else. Now, allow building, I don't allow it. I don't allow building because I don't want, chaos erupting in the map. I don't want it to turn into a battle royale map. So don't allow building. Respawn time, you don't want a respawn time. So yeah, don't touch any of these. Spawn limit is just 1. After last spawn, go to spectator. Now, this is where we're going to play around with the max initial team size ratio. And pause. So, before I get into this one, I want to explain that I am dumb. I made a big mistake here. Alright, so I'll show you later. Also, there's going to be another thing I'm going to have to change later on, so you're going to hear me say pause again. But I just want to clarify, do not mess around with the initial team size ratio. I know I'm about to do that, but that's because I was operating on no sleep. Do not touch the initial team size ratio. Instead, it's a very good idea to touch the max initial team size feature. So that's the one you want to play around with, not the initial team size ratio. Basically, you try to anticipate how many people are playing. If you want a full party, so if you want it to be 8 people, then you would set max initial team size to how many ever Mafia you want. So if you're anticipating 8 people, take a good judgment on how many Mafia you want. But I just wanted to put a quick disclaimer out there. Do not touch the initial team size ratio. Just set how much Mafia you want to the max initial team size. Alright, let's get back to the vid. Now, if you know exactly how many people are playing on your map, then you can use the max initial team size. But say you don't know how many people are on your map, right? By the way, for max initial team size, say 5 people are playing in your map, I suggest 1 Mafia for that game. So then you would say, okay, max initial team size is 1. But say you don't. And there you go, that's it. Then you gotta go back all the way down to allow item drop. I mean, that really doesn't matter. Allow item pickup, don't touch any of these. Win on timeout, no. Allow friendly fire, yes. You want to allow friendly fire because you want that person to be able to kill the other Mafia if it comes to the fact that their Mafia friend got voted out. Then you can say, hey, I'll be executioner for this round and kill that Mafia. Right, so end round when we're seeing from don't touch any of these, and you're set. That's all you need to do. So go to the modified option and see what we change. We change team name to Mafia, team number to 1, team color to red orange, max health 1 health, infinite ammo on. We do not want to allow building, spawn limit 1, after last spawn go to spectator, and initial team size ratio 1, and allow friendly fire, yes. Excellent. Now, what do we got to do now? Basically, we're going to play around here next. So, this is going to be the villagers, or the civilians one. Now, also make sure visual sound effects are off for everybody when you're playing this game, because it can get really, really easy to find out who the Mafia is because you'll see their footprints all over the place. So, I recommend turning off visual sound effects. So, this one is going to be civilians, right? Or villagers, however you want to say it, but let's call it civilians. Team 2, team color red, or sorry, sky blue. And we're going to scroll down to starting health, max health 1, we want an insta kill there. And let's go down to infinite ammo. They really don't have guns, but I turn infinite ammo on if they're the executioner. And then infinite resources, don't touch that. Go to where is it? Allow building none. Respawn time, there's no respawning, so respawn spawn limit is 1. After the last spawn, go to spectator, and then now beat best time to win, don't override. Eliminations to win, eliminations to end. Don't touch any of these. Do not touch any of these. None of these. Allow item drop. Don't touch that. And allow friendly fire. Yes. And there you have it. So we changed team name to civilians, team to team 2, team color to sky blue, max health to 1 health, infinite ammo on, allow building off, spawn limit 1, after last spawn go to spectator, initial team size ratio 5, and allow friendly fire. Yes, we're done. Now that we have our team settings, we still need to add a gold tactical shotgun to the Mafia one. So go to your creative menu, go to weapons, and equip a gold tactical shotgun. You can choose whatever weapon you want. I go gold tac because it's just easy. And then drop it into the team 1 team settings pad. That's the Mafia pad. Okay? This is how people will know if they're Mafia or not. If they have a gold tactical shotgun when the game starts, they're Mafia. If they do not, they're not the Mafia. This is what the Mafia will use to kill people. Now, we have our team settings. Yeah, no we don't. So what you see on your screen right now is me creating another team inventory plate and duplicating what I did in the civilian one you just saw me do. So, why am I creating an entirely new team settings plate? Well, basically, you can't put all the civilians on one team. I know that sounds weird, but hear me out. If they're all on the same team, they'll know who the civilians are, and then they can easily identify who the Mafia are. So basically what I'm doing here is I'm putting each civilian on a different team. That way they don't know who their other civilians are, and then, you know, the game doesn't get spoiled. So make sure you do that as well. Just do exactly what we did earlier to make that civilian team settings pad and make a new one for how many ever civilians you have. So if you have 6 civilians, make 6 different pads that have the civilian data in it. Alright, that's all I wanted to say. I apologize once again for this big mistake, and let's just get straight back into the video. We have our team settings. We now need to add our item granter, which is going to give the tactical shotgun for the executioner. So go to your discussion area, as we're right here, and go to your creative menu, and go to devices, and scroll down to, there should be something called an item granter. It should be right there. Okay. So item spawner plate, my bad. Equip that and set it down wherever you want. I just set it on the edge. Item respawn on. You don't have to really turn on any of these. You can look around the settings. It's super easy to figure out what it is. But here we go. So go to the creative menu, equip a gold tactical shotgun, and drop it into the item spawner. Basically what's going to happen here, when it's discussion time and you guys choose who to vote off, the executioner will come and grab the gun, shoot the person who got the most kills, and then drop the gun. It's important that they drop the gun before they go back to their house, okay? Otherwise it gets chaotic. Alright, so next up, what we want to add is the objectives. And that's why we added the button right here. I was trying to figure out a nice transition to say the thing that we put the button for, but mind slipped. Anyways, what we want to do now, this is the tricky part, okay? This part can get a little tricky, so stay with me here. What we want to do is add timers, right? So we're going to go to our creative menu, go to devices, and scroll down to timed objective, equip it, and put down the timed objective things. Alright, we're going to put down, actually, yeah, so put down 1, okay, and customize it. Start when round starts, no. Time, here's where it gets interesting. So our first one, let's label it. The first one is going to be get to your houses, okay? So typically everybody's going to pick a house to go to. If you did the generic one, if you put people's names on the house, they'll go to the house that has their name on it. But if it's generic, everybody just picks a house, only one person per house. So get to your houses. Typically for this one, I give people about a minute or 2 minutes, because if your map is big, but you be the judge of how much time you want to give. Basically, this is them getting from the discussion area to their house. So if we looked at a map, they would be going from here to whichever house they belong to. Okay, so that's what this is. But for the sake of example, I'm going to set this to 5 seconds. That way I can show you how it works real. Actually, 4 seconds. So I can show you how it works really easily. Or actually 5 seconds. Okay? Timer label style. This is all just style. If you want it visible, I don't see why you'd want that. But I turn off hologram and visible off. Countdown visible on HUD, yes. You want all that on. Urgency mode, that's up to you. Urgency mode, basically at 5 seconds it's going to get louder. You can set whatever urgency mode time you want. I'm going to just leave it alone though. Now you're going to just go through all of these, okay? What you're looking for now is start on. So let's find the start on feature. So we're going to go to channels, the channels only setting, and start when receiving from channel 1. Remember that button we made? That button is transmitting a signal on channel 1. Actually, let's go back to that button and let's show you. So, if we go to this button, we'll notice that it's transmitting a signal on channel 1. When that button is pressed, it's going to activate this timer right here. If you want to know more about how channels work, I made a video on that, so go ahead and check it out on my channel. I'll put the link down in the description as well for that, but that teaches you how channels work. But channels are essential for this map. So, start receiving from channel 1. Okay? Now, what we also want to do is, when completed, transmit on channel 2. Now, there's one more thing we need to do here. The problem with the timed objective is, once it ends, it's over. It disables itself. We want to make sure that it does not disable itself. We want it to be available for unlimited use. So what we're going to do is go to completion behavior and set it to reset. Okay? So once you do that, hit OK. And then copy and paste your timer. We're gonna make another timer now. This one is just gonna say, okay, nighttime. Mafia, go kill people. Okay. Now, obviously, you can phrase it the way you want, but basically, this is when. Actually, let's take out the Mafia, go kill people. Oops. Nighttime. All we want to do is say nighttime. You can say whatever you want in that, that's up to you, but basically, this is where the Mafia are going to take their portals to go to the Mafia headquarters, and then pick a person to kill, go and kill that person, and get back to their house. So make sure you judge how much time that would take. I typically give that process about 3 minutes. It could take a while sometimes, but if you think, hey, that's way too much time, be the judge of that. You can play around with your map. I give my players 3 minutes, but you can give them 2 minutes, you can give them 1 minute, however you want to do it, but make sure you're allotting for time it takes for them to go to their portal, pick someone to kill, go to their house, kill that person, get back to the Mafia HQ, and get back to their house. So, judge how long that would take. Okay. Everything else, you just keep it the same, except for the channel. Now, what we want to do is we want to set start when receiving from the channel 2, and when completed, transmit on channel 3. Now we're going to copy this one and paste it and customize it again. This time, start when receiving from channel 3. When completed, transmit on channel 4. Okay? Then what we want to do is go to the timer label text and set it to everybody, or go back to discussion, or go back to discussion area. I misspelled discussion, my bad. Okay, and that's it. Now this is just them getting from their house back to the discussion area. Give them however time you think they would need. I recommend, once again, a minute, or as long as you gave them to get to their house for them to get back. So give them that time, but then everything else you keep the same, sorry. And you're done with that. Copy and oops, that's not a good thing. Let's delete that one. Copy and paste. This time, we're going to go to channel, set it to start receiving from channel 4. When completed, transmit on channel 5. It's getting very repetitive, I know. But then go to the modified options and then change timer label text to discussion time. Discussion time takes a while. I typically give them about 5 minutes. That might seem like a long time for you. You can be the judge of how long. Basically, this is when villagers are discussing, or villagers and Mafia, I would say, are discussing who they think the Mafia is. Obviously, the Mafia are going to try to divert blame away from them, and then villagers are going to try to figure out who the Mafia is during this time. And then, that's it. So, obviously, we're just going to keep this at 5 seconds. Okay, now we're going to paste this again. Copy and paste it again. This time, we're going to... Actually, let's get rid of this one. The problem with this is that it might get a little hard to keep track of. We're going to copy from the timer we just made and then paste it to the discussion time one. And we're going to change this to voting time. Voting time. This is the time it takes for them to vote. So after discussion time ends, now you're going to do the voting process. Basically, you probably want a moderator for this one who says, okay, we'll start at that person. That's literally the moderator. Also, yeah, that's a good point. I actually need to talk about. Do pick a moderator. The moderator can play. They can play, but they're going to be in charge of clicking that button, and they're also going to be in charge of running the discussion and voting. So they're going to say, okay, if you guys want to do that discussion time where you don't all talk at the same time, you go one at a time. The moderator is going to moderate that, and during voting time, moderator will say, okay, who's your vote for, who's your vote for, who's your vote for, and then you'll go in a circle. So yeah, make sure you have a moderator who's moderating voting time. But yeah, anyways, voting time. Start when receiving from channel 5. When completed, transmit on channel 6. And that's it. Make sure you give them adequate time. I give them usually a minute to vote. The voting round takes a minute. You can once again be the judge of that. But for the sake of example, 5 seconds. Okay, and then copy and paste the voting time timer. And then now this is execution. Execution. This is the amount of time it's going to take you to kill. Now, this timer is completely optional. This is up to you. but I like to make an execution timer. This one should take you maybe 30 seconds. That usually you don't need to worry about it. Once again, up to you. This is just basically where you pick the executioner, and the executioner is going to go get that tactical shotgun and shoot who got the most votes. Start receiving from channel 6, and when completed on, it doesn't need to transmit on any channel, so no channel. And you're done. That's it. You have all your timers, and we're good to go. Now, what is the point of those timers, you might be wondering. So, if I were to start the game right now. Oh, also have spawn pads. Do have spawn pads. That makes life so much easier for you. So go to your creative menu and go ahead and put down some spawn pads in the discussion area. Oops. Okay. 1, 2. There's 3 players in our map, so I'm just going to put 3 now. And let's start the game. Okay, so it's obviously going to be a countdown. This doesn't matter. Okay, so, oh look, I'm the Mafia, but make sure you don't show that gold tag. That's basically screaming I'm the Mafia. Okay, so now what we want to do is establish, okay, as you can see the executioner's gun popped up, but basically we want to establish who our moderator is. Okay, they say, hey, Challenge Saga, can you be our moderator? Sure. Alright everybody, let's get the game started. Is everybody ready to start the game? Alright, 3, 2, 1, we're starting now. Alright, so now it's saying get to your houses. Obviously we're going to have more time than 5 seconds. Everybody gets to their houses. Now it's nighttime. This is where the Mafia are going to do the killing. So they're going to go to Mafia headquarters, pick someone to kill them. Then they're going to come back to the discussion area. Everybody's going to come back to the discussion area. Discuss who you want to kill during the discussion time. Then once discussion time ends, voting time. Pick who you want to kill. Whoever gets the most votes, execution time. Go ahead, pick up the tactical shotgun, shoot the person who got the most votes, and then if they're the Mafia, they'll drop a gold tag. If they're not the Mafia, they won't drop anything. Then the moderator says, okay, obviously they weren't the Mafia. Is everybody ready to start again? Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's begin. And then it's going to cycle. It's going to loop again. As you can see, get to your houses. Nighttime. Everything should pop up just as it did before. Right? You can see, go back to discussion area. Discussion time. And then voting time. And then after this should be the execution. And there you go. There you have it. You basically have everything you need in your Mafia map. Now, we're going to end this game. Now we need to worry about island settings. How do we decide who's winning this game? So obviously last team standing is supposed to win, right? So let's open up our island settings. Let's go to my island. It's in your menu. And go to this. So voice chat, let's set it to all. We want all. Max players, though, I would suggest capping it at 8 just to make life easier for yourself. If you have 16, you have to build 16 different houses, 16 different portals. Make sure you do that. But yeah, teams, we want 2 teams, obviously. Yeah, so I lied. Don't just put 2 teams. Instead, what you want to do is represent, let's put it this way. Okay, so say you have 5 people and you have 1 Mafia, you're going to have 5 different teams. If you have 6 people and 2 Mafia, you're still going to have 5 different teams. Why? Because in the 5 people example, there's only going to be 1 Mafia. Everybody else is on a separate team, right? So there should be Team 1, which is Mafia, Team 2 Civilian, Team 3 Civilian, Team 4 Civilian, and Team 5 Civilian, right? Now in the 6-person one where we have 2 Mafia but still 5 teams, the 2 Mafia are on the same team. So 2 Mafia on Team 1, then Team 2 is 1 Civilian, Team 3 is another Civilian, Team 4 is another Civilian, and then Team 5 is another Civilian, alright? So remember, just do that. Like I said, have a good idea of how many people are playing your map. This is why it's important. So instead of putting 2, make it reflect based on how many people are playing your map. Use the logic I just gave you. Alright, let's get right back into the video. I apologize once again. Team size dynamic. We want the team settings to decide that. Then you're basically going to scroll to spawn limit 1. After last spawn, go to spectator. Team rotation, that's up to you. If you keep it disabled, it randomizes it. Time limit, we don't want a time limit, so we're going to set off time limit. All teams must win, doesn't matter. And then that's pretty much it for here. Now, we already set allow friendly fire, blah blah blah. What we also want to do is turn on last standing. So, if you scroll through here to the game, you're gonna keep going, win condition. Not win condition, sorry. We're gonna keep going. Last standing. Last standing ends game on. And there you have it. Whichever team is last standing wins. If you have one Mafia, one Villager, or two Mafia, two Villager, basically I explained this in how to play Mafia, but if the amount of Mafia equals the amount of Villagers at any point, then Mafia wins. To win the game, Mafia just kill the final Villagers and end the game. Okay, so I just wanted to add this in there because that last standing feature is great and all, but there's a little problem with that. So last standing feature is going to work for Mafia. If Mafia end up killing all the civilians, then the last standing feature is going to work. The Mafia will see the victory message. However, since we assigned all the civilians to different teams, well, they're not going to get the victory message if they beat all the Mafia. In fact, the game's not even going to end. Why? Because they're on different teams. So technically nobody's won yet. So there is a solution to that I wanted to include. So what we're going to do is open up the Mafia one first of all. So we're going to, go to the team settings and inventory pads we put down earlier and customize the Mafia one. And go to this channels only section. Now, go to when team is out of respawns, transmit on. Alright, so this basically is saying, okay, when everybody is gone from this team, what do we do now? We're going to send a signal. So just send a signal on channel 150. So when team is out of respawns, transmit on channel 150. Hit OK. Now what we want to do is go to each spawn. So in our case, we only have 2 team settings pads. Depending on how many players you're anticipating, you might have more. Customize each one to the following. So click the customize button and end round when receiving from channel 150. Hit OK and do that for every single team settings pad. So there you have it. That's how you would end the game. So then when the civilians kill all the Mafia, okay, Mafia are going to send that signal on channel 150 and then the game is going to end. On the other hand, we already established last standing ends game. So if the Mafia end up killing all the civilians and the Mafia the only one standing, they end up winning because they would be on the same team. So that's how you solve that problem. Once again, my fault for not including it. It's just that whole error with the team settings earlier caused a lot of collateral damage. So that's what I want to show you. That's how you end the game. Let's get back to the main video now. Not yet. Just one more thing to keep in mind. If the villagers end up winning, yes, it's going to show the draw message, not the victory message. Why? Well, because, you know, they're all on different teams, so there's no one winner. They all won, so it's going to show the draw message. So don't panic if it shows draw instead of victory. There's really nothing you can do about that. Alright, now back to the actual video. Okay. And that's pretty much it. That's literally all you have to do. Yeah, so psych. I lied again. I'm sorry. I was all over the place when I first made this video. Yeah, we weren't quite done yet. What we have to do actually is now go to oops, we gotta go to UI. So when you go to UI, scroll down to, you just keep scrolling, you keep scrolling until you get to map screen display. Do not keep it on scoreboard. Put it on overview map. Why? Because if it's on scoreboard, you will see who the Mafia is and who the civs are real quickly. So make sure it's on overview map, and then once you do that, then you're actually done. Guys, I promise this is the last one. At least, yeah, this was the last time I correct myself. So my bad. Let's get back to the other video. I feel like I've said this so many times. Right. One more thing we want to do. We want to go back to this button and we want to do a reset delay. We don't want people being able to press the button and spamming it. So, depending on how much time, make sure you count how much time you gave them between timers, right? reset delay, you want it to be so that it can only be activated again once those timers have run their cycle. You can set it to 2 minutes. I mean, 2 minutes is a realistic thing. And press OK. That way, when I press it once, I can only press it again 2 minutes later. Right. So, and there you have it. That's all you need for a Mafia map. I know this is a long tutorial, but there's got a lot of pieces to it. And hopefully you enjoy playing this with your friends. But if you want to go through our checklist again, we made our discussion area, check. We made our houses, check. We have our Mafia HQ in there, check. We have our timed objectives and everything there, check. And we have our team settings. Now, team settings, I didn't put that in the checkbox, but actually I did. I'm a liar. I did have it in my checkbox. It just went before time objectives. But anyways, that's it. There's our Mafia map. Remember, if you want more clarification on how to play it, just rewind the video. I explained it all earlier. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and hopefully you have fun with it. If you want to add fancy stuff like music and everything, you can do that too. Just use a radio. But there you have it. That's how you build your own Mafia map. And enjoy it with your friends. It's a very tense game, I'll tell you that. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. It's your boy Challenge Saga here. Hopefully I can see you in a future video. If you like this video, please leave a like, subscribe, and make sure you comment down below telling me what you liked, and give me some feedback so I can improve these videos, because I have a lot of ideas for creative maps and I want to share it with y'all. Anyways, thank you so much for watching once again, and peace out.